through and through. Oh, the Toon Review. Laughs and passion, football too. We are the Toon Review. By the fans, for the fans, through and through. Laughs and passion, football too. We are the Toon Review. 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 Go!
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for this morning's breakfast time with myself, Paul. Hope you're all doing well after yesterday's fantastic win over Nottingham Forest. And, well, for me, the international break has come a little bit too soon, or it shouldn't be there altogether. It's a pain in the arse is what it is. However, it does give players a bit of time to recuperate, those who are not in international duty, of course. But unfortunately, we have been struck down with injury again, which is what we'll come on to in a moment. If you do enjoy this morning's show, folks, as usual, please do give it a like. And if you're new around here and like what you see, please do subscribe. And of course, you can become a member of the Toon Review by hitting that join button underneath myself. And you can super chat the channel, of course, as per usual. And if you do super chat the channel, you are guaranteed to get your comment read out. And please do keep voting for us in the Football Content Awards. That link is still pinned at the top of the description for the show, along with the link. So please do keep voting, guys. Not long left to go now in the voting, so we need you more than ever. Right, let's start with Lewis Hall, shall we? And it was confirmed by Eddie Howe after the game yesterday that, unfortunately, Lewis Hall has a hamstring problem. He felt it when he came on in the Champions League against Union last week. So unfortunately, they're not able to give a definitive answer as to how long Lewis is going to be out for. Eddie Howe said that he has to have another scan in 10 days. So that would pretty much rule him out of the Brighton game anyway. And then they have to see if it's long-term or short-term. Eddie said he hopes it's short-term and not long-term, but they simply don't know right now what the situation is with Lewis Hall until he has his second scan. For me, this is a massive blow because it means that the situation we're in with Tino's injury, of course, means that for the foreseeable future, it is going to be Dan Burn at left-back. And that, for me, is a problem. I think he was caught out a lot of times yesterday, especially in the first half. And we know that there's other teams in the Premier League who have explosive wingers who are very quick and can get the better of Dan Burn. Now, I see that Stato's in the chat. Alex, massive happy birthday to you, buddy. It's Alex's birthday today, so he's at work. But we hope he has a cracking birthday. I have sent you a message, buddy, on WhatsApp, so hope you got that. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be Dan Burn for the future at left back. Now, guys, I don't want to seem like I'm jumping on Dan Burn because I'm not. I actually feel really sorry for Dan Burn in the situation that he's in, because he is a centre back. He's in the England squad because he's a centre back, and certainly not for the left back situation. And when he's caught out like he was numerous times yesterday, it is becoming a bit of a worry. And I don't know. I'm very scared of Dan Burn at left back because, look, he did a fine job 2 years ago, right? When he was playing at left back, he did a job. Was he outstandingly brilliant as a left back? Probably not. However, he did a very good job for us in the situation where he was needed. Now, this time around, we're 2 years down the line from when he was last at left back, and he's 2 years older. And he's no spring chicken, Dan Burn, unfortunately. So we are left with Dan Burn at left back. And that for me is a problem. Let me know in the chat if you agree. But I just thought yesterday he was caught out of position quite a few times. Now, whether that's because he hasn't played there for a while, I don't know. Is it pace or is it just an opportunity maybe that he just needs to settle back into the left back position and just get back to how he was a couple of years ago? But I don't think that is the problem. I think it's age has caught up on him. Pace has gone from Dan Burn, whatever pace he did have. Now, Johan is there. Give a chance to Harrison Ashby. yeah, I mean, look, people are saying that they'd rather have Kieran Trippier back there. Now Trippier is not a left back, and he has played there plenty of times. But for me, he doesn't give the same. He's not the same kind of player as Tino Livramento would be going to left back. I think Tino's got a better left foot, but he is experienced there and reads the game. And for me, he reads the game better than Dan Burn does. And we know, listen, Brighton is the first game back after the international break. And that is not going to be an easy game. Brighton are a very good side. They've had a few iffy results this season, but they are still a very, very good footballing side. And again, we need to be at our very best. Stato says, regardless of performances, opposition managers and team target Burn at left back, and that must be for a reason. Exactly. And you saw that yesterday. Forest had a few attacks against Dan Burn and got through. So it was obvious that their instruction was then, let's go down that flank all the time. Let's challenge Dan Burn, because that is probably the way we're going to get in. We're not getting any joy out of Trippier's side, so we'll go down Dan Burn's side, and then we're getting a lot of joy. And that could be a problem in the future for me if Dan Burn is going to continue at left back. I think it has to be addressed, because the injury to Hall is such a massive blow, considering we've already got Tino out for a long time. So now I did see something on social media, people complaining, really saying that the problem we've got is that maybe we let Matt Targett go, or we don't have enough cover at left back. But people are forgetting that Alex Murphy is there. And for some strange reason, Eddie didn't put him on the bench yesterday. And Eddie wasn't challenged about this. And that's what I'd like to see from some of the reporters, that they are going to start questioning, why Eddie's leaving players out who can play in a specific position instead of shoehorning Dan Burn in again. Baz says that my mouth is out of sync. I don't know why that is. Am I out of sync, guys, or is it Baz? I don't know. I don't know why it's out of sync. It shouldn't be out of sync. It should be bang on form with what StreamYard's doing. I am seeing the same thing, says Darren Lee. I don't know. I don't know why that is, guys. I honestly don't know. It's something to do with StreamYard. I don't know why I'm out of sync. Yeah, slightly out of sync. That's annoying, because I don't know why that is. There's no settings within my audio that can change that. That's really a bit of a pisser, to be honest. I'm not sure why that is. I really don't know, guys. I'm just looking at my settings now, and I can't see any reason why the audio would be out. Very, very strange. Very strange. Some people are saying it's fine. Some people are saying it's funny to watch. Some people, very, very slight, says Susan. I don't understand that, guys. But I do apologize if it's out of sync. There's nothing I can do. I will have a look at that. It's a millisecond. Oh dear me. Some people saying it's not out. Crazy. I don't know. But anyway, guys, just refresh the stream, see if it makes any difference. But we'll get on with the show anyway. It's still my voice, guys, whether I'm in sync or not, to be honest. Some people saying it looks okay. Fine, no problem. Anyway, so Lewis Hall, is he... Now, what we've got to consider here is Lewis Hall, he's been in and out of the side this season because he's had injuries, had a long-term injury. Is confidence a thing with him? Is he feeling things that maybe it's psychological to him? When Eddie Howe said that, some of his, he felt a bit funny. His body wasn't feeling right when he was training. But I don't know. And people have started coming around saying, is that because he's injury prone or not? I don't think he's injury prone. I just think he's recovering from a long-term injury. And that's got to be something that needs to be looked at. It has to be. But look, we're in a very strange predicament now with the fullbacks, because I'm certainly sure that Eddie didn't think that he would be without both Hall and Livermento for the foreseeable future, very early on in the season. So that's annoying for Eddie, but it's annoying for us as fans as well that we don't get to see our very best side. And the question is, if Lewis Hall was 100% fit and so was Livermento, would he drop Dan Burn? Is the question. Would he actually leave him out in order to play the two best fullbacks at the football club and probably the two best fullbacks in the Premier League as far as I'm concerned? So I don't know if he would, but that's for, I guess, a discussion for another day or when everybody's fit and we can see what he actually wants to do with Dan Burn, etc. And I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to Wissa, shall we? Because, or Wissa, whatever he is. Keith Downey's been reporting that Wissa has kind of dedicated himself to Newcastle United and says that Newcastle United is his priority. Now, I think this was an interview that he did with someone else, and Keith Downey's gained the information. And Keith has said that Wissa is basically looking at Newcastle United as priority when he was talking about the African nations. Now, does this mean that Wissa is in a bit of a conundrum here because he knows he hasn't played for Newcastle United yet? He's been injured. Then when he comes back, he's got to get match fit. And by the time he gets match fit, he's off to the African nations. Now, this is interesting for me that he said that his priority is Newcastle. So does that possibly mean that he is prepared to not go and stay with Newcastle United? Because we're going to be in the same situation that we are now, where Will Asula is sort of coming on for 10, 15 minutes here and there, or Voltemada, is left out and rested because we don't have Wissa. Now, is Wissa turning around in that interview and saying, NUFC are my priority, therefore, when the AFCON comes around, is he going to go? Because reading that interview, I get the distinct impression that he's not going to go, that he feels like he owes Newcastle. So it's a conundrum for him, and it's also a conundrum for Eddie Howe. And I'm sure Eddie Howe's already had conversations with him about the African nations, that they knew that this was coming around when he signed. But what they didn't know is that he was going to be missing for a certain amount of the start of the season, that he picked up an injury on international duty and he's been unable to perform. So I get the distinct impression from what I'm reading there is that he doesn't want to go. Now, if he doesn't want to go and he doesn't go, where does that leave his international future? Because obviously he's of a decent age now. He's been there. He's done that kind of thing, but he hasn't retired from international duty or anything like that. But is that what he's thinking? Is that what he's thinking? Because Newcastle United, I'm sure Wissa wants to be involved in the Champions League and he wants to experience all of that and things like that. So maybe it's just that Wissa is now thinking, hey, I want this Champions League more than I want the AFCON. I mean, it's strange to say. It is very strange to say because it's his country. Representing your country is a massive thing. But he doesn't necessarily now, in this position that he's in, think that playing for his country is the best option. Maybe it is actually missing the AFCON that might be better for him at playing in the Champions League and dedicating his time to Newcastle United. So maybe that he's going to make an announcement on his international future. I don't know. But I get the distinct impression that maybe he's just about had enough. And he wants to, because of the injury, he feels like he needs to dedicate his time to Newcastle. And he's probably right. He's probably right because I'm sure the Champions League was a huge thing for him when he signed for Newcastle. And the fact that he hasn't been able to play because of an injury picked up on international duty, he does not want to go through that again. And he wants to, the reason he signed for Newcastle was to live it, to absolutely live it and live the Champions League. And he's not getting that chance at the moment. So it could be that he might not play in the AFCON. Ricky Thomas is still not convinced with the Langer, and he had a pre-season. Tonali needs to get nailed down before it's too late. Wait for the red Walt for the Red Rat one, a legend in the making. I mean, I've seen so much going on social media over the last sort of 24 hours about who got the better deal. We've had all of this from Rummenigge at Bayern, of course. all the comments that he made regarding Voldemar signing for Newcastle. And then you see Isak struggling at Liverpool, not getting service or very poor when he gets the ball. And it is quite funny at the minute. But look, let's put our serious heads on for 1 minute. Is Isak going to come good at Liverpool? I would imagine so. And I don't like saying that, but come on, let's be realistic here. Isak is a very, very good striker. Although he does need the ammunition. He does need the ammunition to perform. And right now, he's not getting it because Salah is a greedy little twat as far as I'm concerned. If you watch the game against Chelsea, he could have played Isak in 2 or 3 times, and instead he decided to cut in and shoot. He's not going to get the same service at Liverpool that he did at Newcastle United. So will he be as effective? I don't know. Ian says, you're wrong about Burn, Paul. Lee Ryder said he had a great game and gave him 8 out of 10 in the player ratings, lol. Listen, if you listen to Lee Ryder's player ratings or you take anything from them, then please have a word with yourself because he gives the strangest marks out that I've ever seen. I genuinely ever seen. I don't know how he watches a game and marks the players the way he does. I think Dan Burn was a lot better in the second half. Don't get me wrong. He did better in the second half. Wasn't caught out as many times as he was in the first half. But if you're playing, elite clubs with elite wingers, they're going to punish you more than Forest did. I thought Gibbs White didn't really punish Dan Burn as much as he should have done. There is other players in the Premier League who will punish him, and a lot worse. So, look, we'll give ours tonight on the review show at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll go through all the players and we'll give them a player rating as well. But listen, it's nobody can convince me that it's not a problem at the moment at left back. It is a huge issue that does need addressing. He's a fantastic centre back. Don't get me wrong, but left back, no. But he's going to play there, isn't he? He's going to play there for the foreseeable future. There's actually no doubt about it in my mind. Eddie knows Dan Burn. He trusts Dan Burn and keeps saying that Dan Burn is performing well at left back. Whether we think he is or not, if Eddie thinks he is, Eddie will play him. Susan, good morning, says, loving Isak failing. Please let it continue. I doubt it will, but in the meantime, it's lush seeing him do so badly. Absolutely. It's hilarious. Dan says that fluff chance by Elanga on debut felt like a sliding doors moment to me. He's got loads of potential, but could do with a goal or assist for his confidence. I mean, Elanga's a difficult one, guys. He is a very difficult one because he's a brilliant winger. He's got fantastic pace. And, he came out with an interview late last week. Remember, I did a video on it saying that we hadn't seen the best of him yet. And clearly we haven't. Right. But I don't think, from my point of view, commentating on the game yesterday, I don't think Elanga was as bad as people are making out. He did some things wrong. Yes, absolutely did. But he did put some brilliant balls into the box. And, wingers are going to be like that, guys. And I think we need to understand that wingers, if we want wingers, right, who are going to get the head down and take players on, then we have to expect those wingers to lose the ball from time to time. They will be tackled or whatever they try and might not come off. But I'd rather wingers did that than just run up and down and do and nothing on the ball. Elanga put a few really good crosses in yesterday. The same on the other side. I've seen, again, a barrage of hate towards Anthony Gordon, last night and this morning. And I don't understand where they're coming from. I thought Gordon was excellent yesterday. And listen, I have been one of Anthony Gordon's biggest critics this season, right? Because I know what he's got in his locker and I want him to do better for Newcastle United. But at the same time, he hasn't done it. But Wednesday and yesterday, I thought were excellent performances from Anthony Gordon. What Anthony Gordon was doing yesterday was getting his head down and taking on the fullback. Knock it past him, use your pace, and get across it. And he did that numerous times yesterday. So I'm not sure what people want from Anthony Gordon. Because when he cuts inside and he shoots, he gets criticised. When he goes down the wing and crosses, he still seems to get criticised. And I don't understand why that is. Because for me, I want a winger who is going to be very direct. exciting to watch. Take players on and whip crosses in. And Elanga and Gordon did that yesterday. But the barrage is saying, oh, Langa's not good enough. He's just a Miggy 2.0. Is he shite? Is he shite? Right? The bottom line is that Elanga will improve and improve and improve under Eddie Howe. We know how good he is improving players, and he will work with Elanga on the shortcomings that he has at the moment. But the wingers yesterday got so much hate online. I do not get it at all. I don't understand it. Because Anthony Gordon did what I wanted him to do last night. And I think what every Newcastle fan should want him to do is take players on. But the problem is with wingers, they are going to be tackled. And when they try and do things, it's important that they get up and try again. Don't give up on what you're trying to achieve. And Elanga made some mistakes yesterday, but he still kept going. He still kept going. He still put balls into the box. Very good crosses. And then it amazes me because then people say, oh, well, Murphy, Murphy came on and within a couple of minutes provided 2 great crosses. Yes, he did. But the problem is Murphy hasn't been great all the time this season when he started games. Some of them he's been absolutely dross. And this is what I mean. People say that they want Murphy back in, but when Murphy comes back in, he doesn't play very well. Oh, Elanga should start. We paid £55 million for him. There's no way that we can win at the minute. I just really want these wingers just to do what they did yesterday. Take players on and get crosses in. Because we've got a man in the box now who is full of confidence, a very good header of the ball, and will get on the end of some of them. Not all of them, of course, because that's not how football works. But the majority of the time, you're going to put the ball in the box. Voldemar is going to be in there. You've got Bruno coming in from midfield. You've got Tonali, Joelinton, etc. All making a bust in the gut to come into the box to get a head on it. And that, for me, is what I want to see. That's why you play wingers. You don't play wingers to cut in all the time and have shots. You've got wingers there to provide balls into the box. And as far as I'm concerned, both of them did that yesterday. Probably Gordon was better than Elanga. But I don't understand where the zero-end product's coming from Elanga, because he could have had 3 or 4 assists already this season if somebody had been on the end of his crosses. How many times did we see Elanga put crosses in when we didn't really have a striker at the start of the season? And nobody was there to finish them off. Nobody was making those runs that the striker would normally make to get on the end of these. So I don't agree with Elanga's got no end product. I really don't. Because we've seen it at Nottingham Forest. We saw it at Manchester United. This guy can play. And we're only a few games into the season and already people are writing him off. I don't understand it. And look, I will criticize players. Everybody knows that on this channel who watches. I'll wear my heart on my sleeve and I'll criticize if I feel like a player's due criticism. But I don't understand where all of this is coming from. Anthony Gordon has had 2 great games for us, the last 2 games, yet he's still getting pounded on social media saying he's shit. He's nowhere near the player that we think he is. And then Elanga, waste of money, waste of this, waste of that. It's balls, man. It's absolute balls. Because they are very, very good players. And for me, yesterday, especially in the second half, I saw a lot more attacking prowess from Newcastle. The first half wasn't great, but we did try and create stuff, even though it didn't come off. Second half was a lot better. And if it wasn't for Matt Sells, we could have had 5 or 6 goals for me. However, that's because we were putting balls into the box. We were causing all sorts of problems. Elanga won numerous corners yesterday. I don't get where people are coming from. And calling him Miggy 2.0 is an absolute disgrace, by the way. Absolute disgrace, because he's not. He's got bags more skill than what Miggy had. Susan says, Anderson back at the Toon soon. I don't think so, Susan. I mean, look, I would love Elliot Anderson back. However, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And everybody saw him with Eddie Howe yesterday after the game, Eddie with an arm around him. And Eddie's probably just catching up with him saying, well done on the England thing and all of this. I wouldn't make too much of it, to be honest. I don't think that he's going to be coming back soon. I wish we did have a buyback clause in there, absolutely. but apparently there isn't one. It's been reported that there isn't a buyback clause. There's nothing happening with that. And that's just the way it is, which is disappointing, really, because I thought they might have put one in. But look, everybody would love Anderson back. But where would he play? I mean, everybody's sort of saying about Joelinton's form at the minute. Listen, I don't think Joe was particularly bad yesterday, but is he at his very best at the moment? Probably not. He's still getting... I still think it's a confidence thing with Joe after the injuries he's had. He's just, not pushing himself maybe as much as he would be normally. But he will come good. And as Eddie said in his press conference on Friday, would Elliot Anderson be in the position he's in now if he stayed at Newcastle? And Eddie was very good in that answer and very honest in that answer and said no, because of the players who would be ahead of him at this football club. But he's gone to Forest. He's worked hard to get where he is now. And yes, I'm sure at one stage in his career he will be back in a black and white shirt, but I wouldn't say anytime soon. Joelinton, I guess, is a concern. Because he's not firing in all cylinders yet. He doesn't look the same player at the minute. But look, we're still extremely early in the season here. It's really, really early. Ancelotti's picked Joelinton for Brazil. He's picked him for a reason. Ancelotti is no mug when it comes to seeing talent. And now he's got the Brazilian job. I think he's just going to be absolutely, he will come good. He absolutely will. Now, interesting comments from Bruno after the game yesterday, folks, talking about the future of Newcastle United. And he's named two players as Newcastle United's future. And those two players are Sven Botman and Malik Chow. This is what Joelinton had to say, talking about Malik Chow. He says, what a player. What a player. He says, he surprised me a lot. He is very good with the ball and without the ball. He's quick, smart, breaking the lines. He and Sven are the future of this football club. They are very comfortable with the ball. They don't feel pressure, and they've been amazing together. And that's coming from the captain. And we've said this for weeks on here since Botman and Chow became the centre-backs, that they are going to be extremely hard to knock off the perch now in replacing the team. Yes, cup games, etc., rotation. But I think, given how they've performed now, I think they are number one on the team sheet. They are the number one centre-back pairing at the football club. It's a shame for Fabian Schär because obviously he started the season very, very well. But I guess everybody knew at some point that the future of the centre-back position was going to be Sven Botman and Malik Chow. And that's exactly how it's turned out now. And I've got no problem with it, to be honest. Those two, the last 3 or 4 games they've played together have been sensational. Malik Chow was great again yesterday, as was Botman. Their reading of the game, their timing of the tackles. I mean, remember that one? I think it was actually given as offside in the second half. Forest, they were on a break. They crossed the ball, and Malik Chow had to time the tackle in the box to absolute perfection, and he did. It was a wonderful, wonderful tackle. And it was given as offside, but if he had mistimed that and it wasn't offside, then we'd have been in trouble. But just the way they clear the ball, the confidence when they're on the ball to bring it out and put us on the attack. I mean, guys, listen, these two are still very young, and let's just forget all this. Oh, Liverpool are hovering over Botman, and Botman's good mates with Isak, 2 and 2 together. Bollocks, man. Bollocks. But what we do need to do is hopefully do what's been reported, and the club are going to be doing something about making sure that this Isak situation doesn't ever happen again, and make sure that we tie these players down. Because Sandro Tonali, Sven Botman, Malik Chow, etc., Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento, these are the future of the football club, right? These guys are elite players, okay, and need to be tied down to real long-term deals to make sure that this football club has stability moving forward, not money-wise, but player-wise. And we all know that the Chow and Botman, I mean, Botman himself could be a captain of this football club for years to come. So could Tonali if he ever wanted it. But now we're talking about Sven Botman and Malik Chow as being a Rolls Royce and a Bentley. And when was the last time we were able to say that about a centre-back pairing for Newcastle? It's always been a position that we've had trouble with in the past. It's always been there. Cher and Byrne kind of closed the door a little bit on that. They did very, very well as a partnership. But this partnership is elite level. It is absolute elite level. And I cannot wait to see how these two develop as a partnership. And I just hope that they stay as a partnership and that Eddie doesn't sort of change it back to, getting Byrne back in because he can't drop him, etc. Because right now, I think everybody would agree that the Botman and Chow are undroppable. Absolutely undroppable. There's no doubt about it. And it's nice that they've been recognised by the captain as well. Talking about the future of the football club. And, I mean, listen, Cher and Byrne, 33 years of age. Listen, fine as backups, no problem at all. But if you want to reach the Champions League, you want to play against the very best in the world, you have to play your best side. And no doubt about it, no doubt that they are the best two centre-backs. Now, obviously, Bruno spoke about momentum as well. He said it's been a tough week. We've been speaking a lot about consistency, and for the first time this season, we got 2 wins in a row. It's a very important moment. The first half, we weren't quite at our best. They blocked us, and we tried to play short. It was not that type of game. We needed to pull the ball in the box, to put the ball in the box, sorry. We tried to do that more in the second half. But in football, sometimes 1-0 is enough. We knew who scored the first goal today would probably win the game. In the Premier League, it is most important not to concede. If you don't concede, you are closer to winning the game. We have quality players in attack who need one chance to score. So again, talking about the defending, which again, another clean sheet yesterday. We've had a remarkable start to the season when it comes to defending and not giving any goals away. It's been absolutely superb. And that for me is one of the standouts. And Bruno's right. If you keep the door shut, it only takes one opportunity to go and win a game. Obviously, we got the penalty and it was 2-0 yesterday. But Bruno's goal, which was an absolute cracker, by the way, that cemented the victory. And we deserved it. Nobody could turn around and say that we didn't deserve to take the lead yesterday or we didn't deserve to win that game 2-0. Because Matt Sells was absolutely outstanding for Nottingham Forest yesterday, mainly in the second half. Some of those saves were breathtaking. And he kind of looked back to when he played for us and you think, is this really the same guy? But he's gone away, put his head down, worked hard, and he had a phenomenal game yesterday. But obviously no chance of Bruno's effort, and the penalty was just superbly taken by Nick. So all in all, I think they've gone into the international break with momentum, and that's what we needed to do. It's a shame it's come when it has, because now we have 2 weeks before we go to Brighton, which is going to be a difficult game. But I do generally worry about the left back position. But at the moment, hey, they're keeping the door shut. And as much as we can say, well, Dan Byrne was caught out of position a few times, we didn't concede, because what Dan Byrne has next to him is incredible cover that either Tonali can bring as a defensive midfielder or Sven Botman comes across and covers the position. When you've got that, then I'm sorry, but we are going to take a lot of beating. But everything's starting to gel. And that's the most important thing now, that everything is starting to gel. It's getting better and we look hungry. But I would say, let's give our wingers an opportunity. Let's give them a chance. Because at the minute, I think the wingers are missing out on having Livramento and Hall. The overlapping wingers who we know who've got engines on them when we'll put crosses in. Dan Byrne and Kieran Trippier are not going to offer that as much. They can do it a certain amount of times, but nowhere near as much as Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento. So just give them an opportunity, because I think from what I've seen, certainly over the last couple of games, they are starting to develop an understanding with Voltemada now. We are trying to get crosses into the box. So I don't see where the criticism comes from. We've got it. We're too busy criticizing more to think of the positives sometimes. And listen, I've been guilty of that as well, many, many times. That I'll look at the sort of downsides to the game more than look at the positives. But I thought there was far more positives, certainly over the last 2 games now, where we can see the side start to gel. We can see the side getting better. and there are far more positives. So I just think, give it a bit more time. Let's give these players opportunities to gel with each other, and they will come good. I am under no doubt about that. I really do think that. So we can start climbing the table and start winning some games. But like everything, time will tell. But there you go, guys. That is the news this morning. Please do give it a like if you've enjoyed it. And, of course, do subscribe if you're new around here. We're back tonight at 7 o'clock for the full review of the game, where we'll take a deeper dive into everything that happened. And, of course, bring you our player ratings, which we like you to take part in the chat as well. And don't forget, keep voting for us in them Football Content Awards, guys. We really need your help. Not much more time for voting, so get back in there, keep voting. All the instructions and the link are at the top of the description for this show. But thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for supporting the Breakfast Show yet again, guys. We will see you a little bit later on. But in the meantime, have a fantastic Monday. Take care. Goodbye.
Come back and check on see breathing.